A massive thank you to Dylan, Shark Racing Kart Team, MW2 Freak, It's Xander and Michael for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we hit back round 8 of Season 2 of our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Obviously if you missed out yesterday's video, a chaotic Austrian Grand Prix. Click the top right hand side of your screen, I can't remember which side it's at, it's somewhere. Then obviously there'll be a link to that video that went live, of course, yesterday. But today, though, we head home. Back to Silverstone. A track that is very, very good for the AI here on F1 2021. So we'll wait and see as to how we fare this weekend. We need to try and get a couple more durability upgrades, though, on the car. We can go with the control electronics. We will go with that. That should be ready after Hungary before Belgium. We've actually got quite a big wait, obviously, with the summer break between Hungary and Belgium as well. That leaves us 290 points, so no other upgrades are going to be available just yet. We'll fill up some activities as well, though. Got to obviously get a few bits done and dusted, of course, before this weekend. So there we go. That should give us a little bit of a helping hand as well. Then no more upgrades, if I'm not mistaken, heading into this weekend. But we do have a chassis department event.
We need your input on how to address an issue concerning our driver.
So, Schwartzman believes that if they can spend more time in the simulator this week, they can make breakthroughs with R&D. However, this would mean they would not be able to attend a meeting with the chassis department. What should we instruct them to do? Simulator gives us 7 experience and 10% off some lightweight rims, and the department gives us 1,000 R&D points. I think second driver experience is probably more important at the moment, I'll be honest with you guys. We haven't really got many upgrades left to buy, we just need a bit more cash. So team happy with that one. Speaking of cash, we have actually got a little bit in the bank as well. So we'll try and get another facilities upgrade if we can. Powertrain spec 2, build timer. We'll go quality control like we always do there. So that should bring us up to spec 2 as well in the near future. Making good progress. Let's see, make sure everything else all runs smoothly as we get towards this weekend. There, we can't afford our teammates' renewal. We're probably going to keep Schwartzman for the second half of the year. He's been doing pretty well for the team. How much does he cost, though? Schwartzman, 3 million. We should have enough by the halfway stage of the year. Yeah, lot of admin before the British Grand Prix. Let's dive into it. So back at home this weekend then here for the British Grand Prix. Much to admit, rather looking forward to this one. But we'll wait and see. Obviously had a lot of issues in Austrian qualifying last time round, as that's a big wobble through turn 1 to start the weekend. That's woken me up a bit. Rounding the final couple of corners though, despite that scare, still should be the purple score. On to our fuel saving run. Let's just see how well this one goes. Hopefully less dramatic through the first corner. I've almost got to blend the throttle, it feels like, still on F1 2021. There we go, that was all nice and tidy. So we head through the final couple of corners, though, of our fuel run. It's been a pretty damn successful practice session up to this point. In towards the final couple of corners, just lift and coast a little bit on the way. And we got plenty of time on the Delta as well. Out of the final corner, another purple score. It's been a good practice.
Okay, test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
Team happy with that. Some good purple scores. Let's dive into qualifying. Would it really be a British Grand Prix if there wasn't a threat of rain at some point during qualifying? I don't think so. Then in through the final couple of corners though, to start our first qualifying run. Yeah, the threat of rain, the percentage is just meant to get higher and higher as that qualifying goes on. So we'll wait and see if we get some inters or maybe some full wet running by the end of qualifying here. But hopefully we can just, yeah, get this first lap in nice and tidy. Want no issues, no drama or anything like that. Just get a lap in. Get ourselves into Q2 after all the disappointment last time round. Heading out of Brooklands there, back down towards the old turn 1. Hopefully, yeah, the car's going to have a little bit more pace this weekend. They're still not too sure what that was all about last weekend. It's all big wobble through the old turn 1. We'll keep our foot in it on the exit. I do run very, very wide there. Definitely threw away a bit of time. Down through Maggots and Beckett's though. Get the car chucked over the curbing. That was pretty decent. And then out onto the hangar straight. Let's just see what we can do towards the end of this lap. That hasn't been the best lap in the world. But fingers crossed, it'll be enough there. Of course, very, very high-end circuit, speed circuit. Silverstone even as well there. Don't even know where we're racing at the moment as we head through the final couple of corners. Let's keep it nice and tidy down towards the line. And it is going to be a 1:25.0. Slower than Alonso, quicker than Mick Schumacher. That'll probably leave us on the cusp. At the final corner then, ready to start our second Q1 run there. And you can see already just how much more overcast the circuit is than on our first run. They've really got to attack the curb through turn 1 and turn 2. Running a little bit wide on the exit of the corner here. But there were a few mistakes on that first run. Definitely a few more tenths in it. They're very, very tightly bunched actually, a lot of the field. Schwartzman I think is P15, only 3 tenths quicker than me. As we head out of the loop there, already half tenth up. And that was probably the best sector of the last lap we had. Down in towards sector 2. So we head in towards Brooklands. Keep it nice and tidy. Again, we made another mistake through there on our other run. So already now 3 tenths up. And that's all the time we need to find. But definitely want to find a little bit more in the second half of the lap here. As we head back down the old start-finish straight. Such a quick lap now, Silverstone, in these modern Formula 1 cars there. Open up the run as best as possible. Back down into 7th gear there, but really getting the power nicely. Team just warning us we've got very little fuel left in the car as we head now through Maggott and Beckett's. Just try and get over the curbing there, and you can see, yeah, really nice run through there as well. They're half a second up. So we head down in towards sector 3 there as we're P15? Eh? What has happened there? How have we moved up positions as we've gone on this lap? We were P19 when we came out. Not very sure about that, but we'll head through the final couple of corners. Roll on the power at the final turn. It is going to be a half-second improvement, and that's still going to be P15 there. I think the timing loop's having a bit of a moment. So at the end of Q1 there, you can see there is starting to be just a little bit of drizzle around the British Grand Prix circuit there, but we do make it through in P15 there. But Schwartzman down in P18. No idea where the qualifying pace has suddenly gone over the last couple of weekends there, but another one of the 212 Motorsport cars out in Q1, down with the back markers here. Not what we wanted to see, but we're going to have to try and then fly the flag into Q2. Maybe some changeable conditions can boost our way up the order. So we head out though into Q2, track definitely intermediate conditions, but now it's a race to try and get onto a lap nice and early on in the session here. I think only a few cars have started their lap, because apparently track is just going to get wetter and wetter as this session goes on there. As we head out of the final corner, almost now a one-shot qualifying run as we try and get ourselves into Q3. Let's wait and see what we can achieve in this lap then. Back down through turn 1. Oh, very, very wide there. That's not quite where we wanted to be. A little bit of rally cross through turn 1 and turn 2. Headed down the back straightaway though, in towards Brooklands once more. Break just before the 50-metre board there. You can see Perez goes fastest, then Ricciardo goes even faster in the McLaren, so you'd be led to believe those two are going to get through there. Lando Norris as well. But as long as we're one of the first 10 cars to get a lap in, which I think we're going to be really close to, that might be good enough to try and see us through into Q3 for the second time this year. Have we made? No, we haven't made Q3 yet, I don't think, this season. So far, we might have done it once, perhaps. I'm trying to remember. I don't think we've made Q3 at all this year, in fact, as we head now back down through Maggott and Beckett's. Has not been a great lap for us, though, I'll be honest. We'll wait and see those. We head out onto the hangar straight once more. Of course, no DRS now. Track just a little bit too damp here, as last few guys are coming through there. What are we going to be able to achieve at this early stage of the session? Like I said, track's just going to get wetter and wetter, so this lap will probably be the only one that's really going to count there. We're getting a warning for track limits. Find a couple of corners though, or a big lock-up on the way in. Try and get the car rotated through nonetheless, as that has not been the tidiest run at all of a lap there, and it's going to be a 1:34.9. Leaves us provisional last. Is the Alfa Romeo going to go quicker? Yeah, Lundgaard's gone quicker. That does not bode well. So still raining as we head on to our second run then in Q2. I'm just praying somehow we can find more time in the car, but not optimistic. There's a big old kicker wheel spin out the final corner. Let's see what we can achieve. Back down through turn 1. Remember to brake this time round. We are straight up into the green. Oh, through turn 2 and turn 3 though. Not been the best run in the world. Nose in. On throttle. Avoid wheel spin. 4 tenths up as we head out onto the Wellington straight though. So far so good on this second run, but it's how much more time we need to find there. Still 3 tenths down on Esteban Ocon. Oh, as we run horribly wide through there. That's going to be a lot of time thrown away.
5 minutes to go.
Still finding a little bit more on the car though, but I don't think this is going to make enough of a difference. Unfortunately, we'll complete the lap though and wait and see. It's a nice run through the old turn 1 there. That's going to bring us up to half a second up. Much better run through there as well. 3/4 of a second up. So we are finding a lot of time on this second run. But still, yeah, look at that. A second now behind Esteban Ocon. I think, yeah, unfortunately, we just didn't get the lap in at the right time. This one's been far better hooked up. But I don't think it's going to make the difference there. It's through the final couple of corners we go. Still, yeah, we're going to be about a second up. I think at the end of this lap. Over the curbing, through the final couple of corners. Roll on the power, 1.1 up. Where's that going to leave us? P15. We've beat Lundgaard, our ex-teammate, so...
You're currently in P15.
Great.
That last lap moves you onto the 8th row of the grid.
Whoa! 8th row of the grid rather than the 8th row of the grid. You love to see it. So, at the end then of Q2, unfortunately, yeah, no one able to go quicker on their second runs. Does mean we're out in P15. Now, quicker, like we said, than Christian Lundgaard, so I guess we'll take that as a little bit of an added bonus there. But everyone's going to have free tyre choice this weekend. Hamilton fastest once more ahead of Verstappen there. And Lance Stroll doing pretty well in that Aston Martin after the unfortunate accident last weekend. Let's dive into the British Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to Great Britain and the Great Silverstone Circuit for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6-mile-long Silverstone Circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and Copse flat out. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. George Russell did very well in qualifying yesterday and will start today's race from pole position. And it's Pierre Gasly in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo and Tsunoda, Sainz, Norris, Stroll and Fernando Alonso, Perez, Leclerc, Esteban Ocon and Zhou, Mr. Monaco, Lundgaard, Valtteri Bottas and Robert Schwartzman, Giovinazzi, Latifi, Mazepin and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Well, Mr. Saturday has done it again. George Russell, his very first pole position here in Formula 1 there. No idea how him and Gasly ended up 2.5 seconds clear of Hamilton and Verstappen at the end of qualifying there. But that certainly has set us up for a little bit of an interesting start then to this Grand Prix. I can't imagine the Aston Martin and AlphaTauri are going to be able to hold up the Mercedes and the Red Bull for too long in this race. But it doesn't hurt to dream every once in a while nonetheless there. But getting ready then on the grid for round 8 of the year here from the British Grand Prix. Silverstone, the home of Formula 1. And now we just got to wait on those 5 red lights. Mighty long hold, as I seem to say almost every week there, but it is lights out and away we go, trying to avoid the wheel spin.
Getting worn, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
Love that. That shouldn't be too big an issue for us. Oh, look at that, everyone braking mighty early down into the loop for the first time there. We'll go for a bit of a cheeky send on Guan Yu Zhou and Christian Lundgaard there as we try and get the power on the X there. Look at that, Charles Leclerc's giving us the room, 3 wide on the X at the corner there. We just about get hung out to dry there. Look at that, Guan Yu Zhou now making it 3 wide as we head down the straightaway here. We're going to have to be deep on the brakes, but none of us willing to give up on this one as we head down through Brooklands there. We'll hold the inside for the next corner as there's battles going on left, right and centre on the opening lap of this Grand Prix, but we have pulled off the move. We are up into P13 then off the start of this race. Don't really think we're going to be able to defend from the Ferrari for all too long as Charles Leclerc has a look to the inside. Oh, Charles Leclerc, not as brave a man as Lewis Hamilton there, does back out of it, and we do hold on to P13. Coming towards the end, though, of lap 1, it does appear that George Russell and Pierre Gasly have been able to hold on to their lead there, so we'd love to somehow see it come through for him. Verstappen has jumped Hamilton off the start as well, so Lewis has got a lot of work to do. Oh, Guan Yu Zhou really, really strong out of Magnussen Beckett's there, and he's going to get a run on us, side by side down the hangar straight. Going to have to use a load of battery to try and defend from there, as Charles Leclerc thought about making it 3 wide. Around the outside, in through the final couple of corners there, he just about gives us the room. This is a great little battle between myself and the Chinese driver there. We're going to have to slam the door, though, through the final couple of corners. George Russell still leads the way. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Is that one of the Red Bulls? It is Sergio Perez going slowly. That seems to be an engine failure there for Sergio.
Okay, some information on Perez. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
And luckily it meant Guan Yu Zhou couldn't do anything against us this time around there. Perez, very, very disappointed. Guan Yu Zhou seems mighty strong in that Alpha Tauri, so Lord knows what Pierre Gasly is able to do with that thing towards the front of the field there. Look at the momentum the AI, though, can carry through the old turn 1 and even through Magnussen Beckett's here. We get about half a second on them, and then they're just all over the back of me. As we head onto the hangar straightaway here, we're going to have to go defensive again on Guan Yu Zhou lap after lap here. It's not what we want to be doing. We're losing time to the guys in front. I think we might need a safety car at some point to spice this race up a bit for us. And around a power track like this, messages like that are not what you want to hear. It's going to be a long old afternoon, I think, for us. As again, we're having to go defensive on Guan Yu Zhou, who tries to have a look around the outside. Going to be able to get the power a lot earlier on the exit of the corner there, and already looking to the inside. Going to force him defensive. Down the hangar, down the Wellington Straight even. Go right back out.
Win that place back.
Yes, we will. Thank you very much, Jeff. Back around the outside of Guan Yu Zhou here, as Charles Leclerc is going to try and get his nose in as well. This going to allow us a little bit of a chance to break away. No. Oh, look at the run Guan Yu Zhou's got on us, though, as we head down in towards Magnussen Beckett's. They're all big contact between myself and Guan Yu Zhou there. As Charles Leclerc, where's he come from? Clean around the outside of the pair of us as we head out onto the hangar straight here. And now we've got to try and get a run on the Ferrari. Look at that Guan Yu Zhou, though, trying to push us along down in towards Sector 3. This is just getting very, very aggressive very, very early on there. More and more contact between all three of us here, as this is just ridiculous. To the inside of Charles Leclerc we go. Get it slowed down. We will make the move back up there, but yeah, this race is... I mean, we're 6 laps in, boys. What are we doing? I think if anyone's going to be able to get away, it should be Charles Leclerc in at that Ferrari here, as Guan Yu Zhou dropping back ever so slightly. Is Leclerc going to get the run? Not this time. Heading out onto the hangar straight once more, though, again still trying to defend from Charles.
They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Bottas in his Williams has got issues. I don't think that's going to worry us too much. We've got yellow flags out. Who's that? Is that Bottas, or is that the other Williams going slowly? What's happened there? Oh, so Bottas, yeah, that car has not only got issues, but major ones at that then. Seems to be falling to the wayside here. Don't know if it's completely gone. Oh, it doesn't sound healthy. I think that might be Valtteri Bottas' race done and dusted. Meanwhile, all that going on, Charles Leclerc, sorry, managed to mug us off right around the outside there as we were trying to find out what was happening to Bottas. Back down the inside in towards turn 1. Whoa! Charles Leclerc has just completely come across me there, and we've hit our teammate. And Schwartzman's out of the Grand Prix.
We've been informed of an incident which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed.
Oh, dearie me. Dramatic contact between myself and our teammate here. I thought we'd get the better run on Charles Leclerc, but I think he just used more battery right at the end of the straightaway there, and unfortunately we just get turned in on. Probably shouldn't have kept my nose there, but like I said, I thought we were going to get a bigger run. That's Schwartzman out in a scary, scary shot there. Somehow we've got away with just a completely destroyed front wing.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
But this race is suddenly turned on its head.
The side pods have taken damage. Keep an eye on your engine temperature. Cooling may be adversely affected.
Oh no, that's not a good sign to add on as well then. Side pod damage as well. I was going to say the car's rattling around down the straights. So things go from bad to worse here. I think everyone, yeah, is going to dive it into the pit lane. Onto a set of mediums or hard to get to the end. We'll slow down nice and early into the pits. But yeah, just a scary, scary moment there, and not what we needed. Heading down in towards the box, though, you can see everyone as well having to double stack in front of us. So this has caused chaos in this Grand Prix for a lot of teams there. Of course, we won't have to double stack at all, as unfortunately Schwartzman out and his unlucky season continues.
Go, exit now. We're racing on the exit.
got taken out last weekend. They're all running into the back of someone through the pit lane. 2 engine failures as well. In 8 Grand Prix, he's had a big incident in 4 of them. And he's only scored in 1.
Get some heat into those tires.
We come back out the pit lane though, up in, well, I say up, 19th. They're only ahead of Giovinazzi. So the car still feels a bit funny. We definitely have got some big damage.
The side pods have taken damage.
Mazepin with issues. Oh, Mazepin! Mazepin's engine's gone. Another Ferrari power unit in the bin. Gives us P18. Safety car coming in then at the end of lap 10. But I'll be honest, even under safety car, this thing suddenly feels like a very, very unstable crap. We've had issues with it all weekend. We saw that from the very first corner in free practice 1. But now it feels like it's on an absolute knife edge here and around a high-speed, high-downforce track like Silverstone. It's going to make things very, very interesting. Look at that already! Getting wheel spin at 60 miles an hour through the final couple of corners. And we were barely on half throttle there. Look at the understeer at the final turn. This thing is not fun. As we head back down towards cell 1 there, Giovinazzi tried to have a look at the inside, but the understeer and oversteer are all at the same time. This thing is an absolute handful now. More than it ever has been before, I think, in this series. We are not in for a good rest of this Grand Prix. I'll tell you what, Silverstone has never been a particularly fun track for us on the F1 games in recent years. You can see a couple of cars battling up the road. But yeah, this thing handles like an absolute dog now. Bottas trying to make a move on Latifi. They're almost big contact between the two Williams, like we've already seen between us and our teammate there. But we've still got Giovinazzi trying to apply the pressure as we try and put the power down. See if we can get a run on Latifi, the Canadian. Heading down the back straightaway. George Russell is still leading this Grand Prix, I've just noticed. At the inside of Nicholas, no. Nothing happening there, unfortunately. Can we have a look in towards the final couple of corners, though? We'll have a look at the inside. And we will slot it past him. So, might have a lot of instability, but the car's still got a bit of pace. Oh, we got Lundgaard into the pits. No idea what's happened there to the Alfa Romeo. That's going to give us another spot here as this thing, yeah, is handling like a bag of spanners.
That's P16, 16th place.
Look at how much opposite lock we're having to
DRS
use.
is now enabled.
I mean, it's not great in a Formula 1 car to having to be adjusting the steering so much everywhere, but we've got to try and hang on. Trying to get a run out onto the hangar straight there. We see even there, wheels spinning out in 5th or 6th gear. So we head down the hangar straight now. Are we going to be able to get closer to Bottas to go for something at the inside? Oh, it's a brave move, but we do make it work. 100% commitment there, and that might be a little bit more side pod damage, but Mick Schumacher up next. Come on then, really applying some pressure to Mick Schumacher. Of course, has by far and away the slowest car now in this series, a bit like we've seen in real life. Can we get a run to the inside in towards the old turn 1? Oh, PTSD kicks in, but we pull it off. And Schumacher has to back out. Old 1 and old turn 1 are such a lottery now in this car. I'm very much expecting it one lap or another just to spit this off in the opposite direction there when we try to make a minute change. You can see just how much I'm trying to lift off throttle in what is effectively a flat out corner. But yeah, I'm just expecting one time round with this damage for it just to, we flick one way slightly, we try and catch it and just head straight towards the opposite wall. Probably not the right mentality to have when racing a Formula 1 car at 180 miles an hour, but I think unfortunately, yeah, we'll wait and see. Whoa! And that's exactly what I mean.
Some information on Schumacher. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Holy moly! What on earth happened to Schumacher there? Riding on board there with Mick Schumacher, you can see we lose it in front of us, try and save it, and just straight into the Haas there, and he almost rolls it in that situation there. Mick Schumacher out of the Grand Prix, and I mean, surely, yeah, with a car like that, we cannot continue. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys, I think that probably sums it up. There's no way we can try and continue in this Formula 1 car. Look at the way Mick Schumacher's car has been flung up into the air. In that situation, we surely have got to retire. Yeah, and I think you look at all that chassis damage as well now as the rear wing damage, and surely there's not going to be a lot else we can do in this Grand Prix, and I don't want to ruin someone else's race like we've accidentally just done to Mick Schumacher. They tried to save the back end, actually tried to flick it round the other way. Unfortunately, just decided it was going that way round in reverse, and I think, yeah, that's going to have to be us out of this Grand Prix. Not the way I want to do it, but again, like I said, we don't want to ruin anyone else's day there, and massive apologies to Mick Schumacher. That must have been rather scary.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, when you overtake that many people, I'd certainly hope you'd win the race. Their car was really effective in the slipstream here today, and the team will be pleased that they didn't cook the engine, given how long they were spending in the hot air behind other cars. They had a lot of confidence to push their tyres hard as well, especially going into the corners, which allowed for some late braking and some exciting passes.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, what can you say about that then at the end of the day? Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. The podium at the British Grand Prix there. I'm sure British fans, you love to see it. At the end of the day, they had no idea how Lando Norris managed to pull that off later on in the Grand Prix. You kind of feel for George Russell, who was leading up until, unfortunately, yeah, we had to retire the car on lap 17 there. But Hamilton, back on fighting form there. He's finished in the top two every race this season that he's finished. Of course, Austria last time round had to retire the car after that massive shunt with Lance Stroll there. But Ricciardo fourth ahead of Tsunoda, Gasly, Verstappen, Stroll, Leclerc, Sainz rounding out your top 10 there. So what a crazy result that was at the end of the day there. Alonso just misses out the fellow Spaniard there in P11 ahead of Esteban Ocon and Guan Yu Zhou. Then you drop back massively to Antonio Giovinazzi there. Bottas, Latifi and Lundgaard, the last of your finishes there. But both 212 Motorsport cars go out. Why does it seem like when one of our cars goes out, normally it's both of them at this stage of the game there? It happened at Zandvoort last season. I think it happened at Australia last season as well, I want to say. And now Silverstone this year as well there. But both of us and both Haas cars as well, and the Red Bull of Sergio Perez. The last couple of weekends have been a little bit ropey, I'll be honest with you guys. So fingers crossed as we head to the Hungaroring next time round, we can have a bit of a stronger showing there as well. But it does mean championship-wise, we lose the place to Yuki Tsunoda there. I think we're back where roughly we should be at this stage of the year. I don't really think we got enough pace to battle the guys at the front of the field there. Lando Norris jumps Verstappen though into P3. Carlos Sainz loses the place to Charles Leclerc as well, down to P6. George Russell jumps Gasly and Perez with his first podium in Formula 1 and tied once more with his teammate Lance Stroll. No other movers though down towards the rear of the field there. Mercedes now only 42 clear of McLaren. That gap has rather drastically come down over the last couple of weekends, and now we're just 2 points ahead of Aston Martin as well, so that's certainly a battle to watch out for over the next few Grand Prix there. But we need to get to the summer break. We need to sort of work out where we are, what we're doing at this stage of the year as well there. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video nonetheless. If you did, make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and yeah, we'll be back tomorrow ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. You guys do not want to miss it. None of these videos would be possible without the support of our channel members. So a massive thank you to The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David Bennett, Ben Meekins and Aiden C97 for becoming channel members. If you want to be featured in these little clips, click the join button down below.